from the sky. Fearless men who jump and die. Men who do just what they say. The brave men of the Green Beret. Silver wings.
Thanks for joining us for the Constitutional Patriots show. Our guests tonight, our Johnny and Chuck will be doing the show tonight, so I will turn the mic over to Johnny. So here's Johnny.
Thank you very much, Pete. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United Constitutional Patriots show. Tonight we're going to cover more on the hurricane. We did a special yesterday, which people weren't aware of, but tonight we're going to cover pretty much everything that we covered and more. We're also going to tell folks what they can do and what they can't do and how they need to do it from Gregory Clark, who is one of our sponsors, but he lives in Florida and he's been through these hurricanes and he can give you advice. So everything that we're doing, we are doing trying to help the folks that are going to be victims of this hurricane. Our prayers go out to all of you. And we are doing everything we can on our fundraiser to get the funds together to where we can get more people, boots on the ground down there to help you. We do have a hurricane fund set up through the Facebook of the United Constitutional Patriots. All you have to do is Google it, and it'll put you in for those of you who can make donations. And I'm asking you, please, folks, make donations. This money is what makes it possible for the Patriots throughout the East Coast of the United Constitutional Patriots to get funding to be able to mobilize and be down there with boats, vehicles, medical equipment, food, clothes, and help with the rescues of the people and the animals that are caught in this storm. Please, folks, if you can dig into your pockets, we're asking you to donate. This is not going for beer, cigarettes, anything. Every dime can be accounted for, and anybody at any time can go over our books. Chuck, I'm going to turn this over to you, and Chuck will do the cues after the reports on the storm, but he has something that he's going to enlighten everybody of what the United Constitutional Patriots actually what we do. So, Chuck, go ahead, my friend.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, the reason I do that, folks, the reason I ask if I can be heard is because Discord, and I put this thing on voice activated so I can go to other websites, pages, and what have you, and still be heard, still read this thing. So I want to make sure that I'm being heard out there. All right, so here we go. To start with, Johnny wanted me to read this to you. It says, asked by folks what the United Constitutional Patriots do. We are a private organization that believes of our and your constitutional rights, and we'll do all we can to protect your rights. However, help Americans that need a helping hand, like Deanna. We had people there to help the victims of the flooding. For the rights of Americans, we send our men to help the border patrol on our borders. We are not a bunch of gun-crazy people looking for trouble. However, we support the Second Amendment. What are we? We are Americans that do this, and we are able to do what we do without pay. We do ask for donations to help us to be able to respond faster because it costs money to get to and from wherever we have to go to help someone. We are working Americans like you, and we do what we have to do to help and protect American people. We will always find a way to get the job done. Who are we? We are the United Constitutional Patriots. All right. I have for you, as Johnny said this evening, we're going to be
we're about to get by a hurricane.
Becoming a hurricane a bit more because she is a pretty wild little gal, Hurricane Florence. To you to start with, if I can first to behave. I'm going to read to you to start with the latest bulletin. Hurricane Center. Advisory number 54. National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center, Miami, Florida. As of 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Wednesday, September the 12th, 2018. Florence moving steadily toward Carolina coastal areas. Pending storm surge and rainfall expected. Okay. Location, 30.9 degrees north, 72.5 degrees west. About 385 miles or 615 kilometers southeast of Wilmington. And now, folks, they're looking at the Wilmington, North Carolina area as being ground zero for this storm. About 420 miles or 670 southeast.
You're a Chinaman.
South Carolina.
You're a Chinaman?
Sustained winds.
Damn, Lewis, you're weird.
Maximum sustained winds, 120 miles per hour. Movement northwest, 15 degrees at 16 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure, 949 millibars, or 28.03 inches. Okay? All right. Changes with this advisory, none. Summary of watches and warnings in effect. Is in effect for South Santee River, South Carolina to Duck, North Carolina, Albemarle, and towns, including the Noose and Pamlico. The storm surge watch is in effect for each South Carolina to South Santee River, South Carolina, and up North Carolina to North Carolina, Virginia border. Warning is in effect for South Santee River, South Carolina to Duck, North Carolina, Albemarle, and Pamlico Sounds. A hurricane watch for Edisto Beach, South Carolina to South Santee River. Okay. A tropical storm warning is in effect for north of Duck, North Carolina to the North Carolina. Tropical storm watch is in effect for of the North Carolina Virginia border to Cape Charles Light, Virginia. South of New Point. Okay. Interest elsewhere in the southeastern mid-Atlantic states. The progress of Florence. A storm surge warning means that there is life-threatening inundation from rising water moving inland from the coastline during the next 36 hours in locations. For a depiction of areas at risk, please see the National Weather Service Storm Surge Watch Warning graphic at hurricanes.gov. This is a life-threatening situation. Within these areas should take all necessary actions to protect life and property from rising water and the potential for other dangerous conditions. Evacuation and or other instructions from local officials. Watch means there is a possibility of life-threatening inundation, water moving inland from the coastline, inundated locations during the next 48 hours. A hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions is somewhere within the warning area. A warning is typically issued or before the anticipated first occurrence of tropical storm force winds. Outside preparation is difficult or dangerous. Protect life and property should be rushed. A hurricane watch means that they're possible within the watch area. A watch is typically issued 48 hours before the anticipated first occurrence of tropical storm force winds, conditions that preparation is difficult or dangerous. Storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours. A tropical storm watch means conditions are possible within the watch area, generally within 48 hours. For storm information specific to your area, for inland watches and warnings, please monitor issued by your local North or National Weather Service Forecast Office.
Lewis, help.
Okay.
Always teabagging.
Latest conditions. I do have a little information for you, as I've been taking notes all day long. As said, they are now looking at the Wilmington, North Carolina area, that stretch through there, as being ground zero for this thing. But you need to know, oddly enough, as of a few hours ago, they were saying that Florence is now, get this, 666 miles wide, 666. Storm here, folks. That is a huge storm. Storm surges could be as high as 13 feet. Now, she is still expected to make landfall in North Carolina. However, then she is expected to be pushed somewhat by a high pressure system. And so, therefore, as of earlier
why is everybody on the edge today?
Had also
everybody's fighting on here. You guys are fighting.
State of emergency. Now, that's all I know at the moment on Georgia.
What?
But I do know that this morning
I didn't do anything to you, so stop.
State of emergency. So,
hey, watch your mouth.
That is my report.
Watch your mouth.
At this moment, to turn it back over to Johnny.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. Okay, Greg, as detailed as you can, fill everybody in on the hurricanes, what happens, what they need, and how they get through this. You've been through these, you know. I was through one years ago. It took out my home in Pensacola, and I've been through them. But Greg, go ahead and take over from here, okay?
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, let's start with the fact that you really need to get out of there, okay? And then I want to hear what your excuse is for not getting out of there, because I'm going to tell you, 13 feet of water, you're not going to be able to get gas. You know, there's not going to be phones. There's not going to be electricity. There's not going to be clean water. you don't know. There's dangerous situations with these trees falling and all this kind of thing. They may come through your windows. Your roof may collapse in. Your house may collapse in. There is no really good reason to be staying. Now, Nate, I want to hear what the excuse is. Maybe your excuse is that you don't have a way out of town. Well, you know what? Every radio station in your town is broadcasting this, and they would be glad to maybe put you with someone else that's leaving town. Maybe you have pets, okay? So maybe you need to, you're worried about your pets, okay? Well, you know what? You could drive out and go camping for the night. It's not that cold this time of year anywhere in America. You could go out and you could camp out and be with your animals. I will tell you that after the last hurricane, I was shocked that all my little animal friends came out. All the birds came out, the ducks came out, the rabbits came out, the squirrels came out. I live in a nature's half acre, and animals have a way of surviving. So the very first thing you need to think about is that your excuse sucks, okay? There's no reason for you to stay for this type of event, okay? They're saying that the nuclear plant has a nuclear waste storage thing that they were trying to take care of, and your water can become nuclear. There's manure plants, lagoons around there that are going to overflow. Now you've got contaminated water everywhere. You got nuclear water. So the first thing I'd want to say is whatever your excuse is for staying, it's wrong, okay? It's not worth what you can be enduring. So let's talk about some of the people that are stupid enough to stay, the things that you can expect. Your cell phone is not going to work. You need to have contact numbers. You need to have emergency numbers. You need to know where the local shelter is. Now, remember, your car charger could possibly charge, for a while, maybe your car battery, but also cars. We lost a lot of cars to falling trees. I can't tell you how many people I know that lost a car because a flying tree branch came along and smashed their car. So, the location of your car, if you can put it somewhere in between structures where it's less likely to get damaged, you need to think about that. Maybe take it to a parking garage. They're usually safer. Now we're going to talk about some of the other things that you're going to need. So you're going to need, you have a flashlight. It has batteries, but your batteries are going to go bad. So you're going to need backup batteries. If you can get a spare battery for your phone in hopes that your service doesn't go down. I mean, there was one service that didn't go down here. I believe it was Verizon.
Follow me. I am following you, but
you can't rely on that. So remember, I would go to the gas stations, okay, here, and the cars are lined up 300-400 cars down the road. I walk in the gas station. I says, I guess you guys got your gas on. They say, oh, no, we're just hoping it gets turned on. So I got 400 people in line waiting for a gas station that has no gas, hoping it gets turned on. This is the type of desperation that you're going to be facing, okay? The grocery stores aren't going to be open. 7-Eleven's not going to be open. ATM machines don't work. So if you don't have cash, it's going to be hard to buy anything. And you can't always rely on the relief efforts. And then can you get to the nearest shelter? Do you know where the nearest shelter is? Do you have the addresses written down of your nearest shelters? Because if it gets bad or your place starts getting destroyed, you're going to need somewhere to go. So I highly recommend, if you are get stuck in this thing, that you spend your time at a shelter, okay? Let's see. Sandbags. If you don't try and prevent the rising water under your insurance, and there's free sandbags everywhere. They're giving them out right now. You can go to Home Depot and buy little sandbags. There's people giving away free sandbags. You need to try and prevent rising water or you will not be insured. And that's something that you should know. The radio. The radio becomes the most important device because without a radio, you're going to have no idea what's going on. And it's your information source. So even if you go down and buy a $5 transistor radio, he's going to be your best friend. Let's see, what else do we have here? I wanted to talk about trees. You look around your house and you can just about tell which tree branches are going to fall. They come through windows. They take out cars. And getting back a little bit, People have a way of underestimating these storms. You know, when you think of 13 feet of water coming in, just imagine your house under 13 feet of water. I hope you're a really good swimmer and want to swim through really lousy quality water, because that's where you are unless you're building an ark real fast. Yeah, I highly recommend you getting out. And I tried and tried to tell my people back in New Orleans that they needed to get out. So there's two stories in the book in American Watersheds. I'm promoting the American Watersheds book and lecture series, Save Our Kids, AmericanWatersheds.com. You can buy an ebook and help me out, and we can get these lectures rolling, try and get our kids some real education. But there's two stories in there I wanted to point out. My first call was to one of our greatest activists in American history, Merlene Kimball. And I said, Merlene, you know, this hurricane looks like it could hit New Orleans. Oh, they always wobble and miss us. And this is that theory that it always happens to someone else. She said, Greg, I got a bigger problem. They just murdered a guy on my porch that she had hired to fix her roof, and it was a police murder. And they beat the guy to death, and he had just gotten to town. I mean, there was no reason to murder this guy. He did nothing wrong, and they beat him to death. She said, I got the FBI here. I got the Black Panthers here. I have no time to talk about hurricanes. Somebody else was talking about a hurricane. And I said, remember, Merlene, I wrote the movie on what was going to happen when the big hurricane hit New Orleans. I said, do you remember them? Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. I said, yeah, remember, there's two roads in and out of town, and you're sitting in a bowl. And, Greg, I don't have time to talk about this. And she hung up on me. Well, you can imagine where the story ends. Her house got destroyed. I lost 3,000 CDs. You know, it was a nightmare. People died. People that, you know, the wife of our horn player died. You know, it was not a good situation. But they wouldn't listen to the warnings. So that morning I called Les and I said, can you get Fats on the phone here? Let's get him talking on. I said, he hates to leave town. The story is Fats won't leave town. He had Bill Clinton offered to give him an award, and if he would come to Washington, and he flatly told him no, he wasn't going to come. He sent his daughter. He told him it was probably a bad idea. But anyway, also, I said, Fats, you have to leave. I said, you know, you've got to get out of town. I said, you know, you don't want to be here. I wrote a disaster movie telling you what was going to happen when a hurricane hits this town. Now you have, nope, I'm not leaving. Well, to make a long story short, for 2 straight days, the news said that Fats Domino had gone missing. Well, as it turned out, he was hiding in his roof. He had to be chopped out of his roof and hauled away in a helicopter and barely got out alive. So these are the kinds of things that happen during these storms. And people go kind of crazy, you know. I mean, 400 cars wind up to get gas in an empty gas station. Tells you the type of desperation that people come to. So you're going to need matches. You're going to need food. You're going to need water. You're going to need plenty of candles. You don't want to run out of candles. If your Bic lighter runs out of fluid, did you have another Bic lighter? You need to be thinking about all these things, but most of all, I just don't understand why people won't leave. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And if the people want to go and help us get the lifesavers, the people who save lives, to this, they can go to the page on Facebook, Love Tour Music Wave, and they can find the donation site there, and even like $20 can get one more volunteer there. And as we know, that one life that could be saved, it could be our next scientist, it could be our next president, it could be the guy who saves the world. You can be the ripple effect of love, that one ripple effect that changes the whole world. And so you want to be that you want to be that guy, you know, you want to be that woman that did the right thing at the right time. And now is your chance to, if you've got an extra $20 or $50 or whatever you have, there is no better time or place to help out than right now. If maybe you have local churches that maybe you can call and see if they plan to help out with the hurricane. Maybe they want to send volunteers. Maybe they want to send supplies. Maybe they have someone who's willing to send a few bucks. Maybe your knitting club, your doll club, your community organizations that you belong to. Maybe you want to call through the churches. Maybe you want to call through the community organizations and take it upon yourself to be the activist, to be the change agent. That's called being a change agent. And this is your chance to really save lives And they can go to the United Constitutional Patriots page. They can go to Love Tour Music Wave, Love Tour Music Wave, and find the fundraiser. But you know, we have a day or two, and it's only going to get worse, and that's probably going to last for a while. So this is your chance to really stand up and make a difference. People always say, well, you know, I can't make a difference in the federal government. I can't stop nuclear war. Well, here's something you can do. Okay, don't tell me about what you can't do. Tell me about what you can do. And what you can do, if you have a telephone in your hand, you know, or you can walk to the nearest church, then you have the ability to make a difference and maybe save lives. So this is the time to get involved, and this is the very best place. I think we've outlined why it's the best place, because it's the most bang for the buck. It's the one place you can trust to put your money. So, I mean, yeah, there's just a whole bunch of reasons of why you really need to get out of there, and you need to think about, you know, becoming a change agent and trying to get involved. This is the way that you can do it. And so there's a lot of stories I can tell. I mean, when you get into these, people talk about the wind speed, but the wind speed is one thing and causes a lot of damage. But really, the rising water is going to be the, you know, and it's talking about going 150 miles in. That's a lot. That is a long way in. So pack up those pets. Put them in the car. You can camp out. Get a few blankets. Your dogs aren't going to run away. They're your dogs, your cats, you know, whatever it is. So, you know, don't tell me you stayed because of your pets, so, you know, that you wanted to die with your pet. Don't tell me that you don't have transportation, because you can call your nearest radio station. You know, you can call around and see, you know, maybe God has an angel waiting to help you. But the Bible says you take the first step and I'll take the second. If you didn't pick up the phone, how was God going to help you? You know, you've got radio stations, you've got a whole network of people, and that's what I write. Why I write community policies, and I give them to Pete, and he sends them to the president, and it's about communities working together. So it's time maybe that you started working with your community and not all be isolated, but all working together for the common good. So this is your opportunity. This is your big chance. You may not get many more chances like this to be the person who becomes the ripple effect to save a life that saves a person that changes the whole world. Maybe the next important scientist or you know, the president, like our great president we have now that saved the whole country and maybe saved the world. So yes, I think this is a very important time, an important event for everybody to take serious. And 660 miles, that's a really wide storm. Don't just look at where the eye falls, because that's really not the worst part. Usually it's to the north. You know, one side of the storm always is the worst. But remember, the storm is also getting a push southward and may head right down the coast, right into Georgia and flood out Atlanta and all these other places. So we need to keep an eye on it. And luckily, we've got staging areas, and we're prepared for wherever this happens, because we are the United Constitutional Patriots. These Patriots have been the first in every hurricane. They've been the most to help. They've taken down crooked cities and crooked governments, and you know, they've got a long track record of doing the right thing and stopping terrorists from coming across our borders and everything else. So this is the group with the track record. They've done it before. They know how to organize it. They've been the first to help, and this is the place where you want to do your donations. But you need to go to your preparation websites if there's anything that I'm forgetting. You know, but you know, your phones are gone, your water's not going to be there. Whatever food you have is all you're going to have. And I just really wish that, unlike the people in New Orleans, you would listen this time and get out of there. There's got to be a way out. Get creative. God gave you a brain to get creative. Maybe you're in a situation and you can't figure out how, but maybe you need to call around and get some ideas of how you're going to get out of there. So that's my best advice, is get out of there, because it's not going to be safe. And, you know, the police are going to protect, you know, you'll get shot if people start robbing places. If you're worried about your household items, you need to trust the police, trust the National Guard, and you need to just make this happen. And, I mean, get out of there, but if not, you better know where your shelters are. You better have your emergency contact numbers. If you get hurt, how are you going to get to the hospital? You know, the hospital could be closed. So you're putting yourself in a really dangerous situation. What if you get injured and the hospital's closed? You know, what are you going to do? You know, and you need, if you're going to be leaving, you need to make sure you have your medications. So many people said, well, you know, I ran out of medication. Well, today's the day, today and tomorrow, to get out and get those medications refilled. Make sure you got extra. So that's about all the advice I can give, Johnny. But my best advice is start figuring out how you can get out of there. I don't want to hear your excuses. I heard them in Katrina. I heard so many excuses about they didn't have transportation, but you know, and the city had buses sitting empty, and you know, the police broke in a car dealership and stole cars, and the police got arrested in Houston. That's how bad people wanted out of there. The police broke in the Cadillac dealership and stole cars and got out of there. So that's how crazy this gets. And you just don't want to be in all that craziness. There is just no reason. And I just really wish you would find a way and think of a way and call around and call your churches and call your radio stations and figure out a way to get out of there, because that's your best bet. But beyond that, take some of the other advice. And that's about all I can say about it, Tony. I hope people listen.
Thank you, Greg. One thing that I want to add to that, if you have flotation devices and you do get caught in it, make sure you have those flotation devices where you can be able to grab them and hang on to them, because those can also save your life until they can rescue you, get you out of the water. It's vital that you have something like this. I got the idea because this is with some young kids. This saved their life in the hurricanes that hit Houston. And had it not been for the fact that their dad had told them, make sure you get all flotation devices off of the boat, they grabbed them and it saved their lives. And again, thank you, Greg. Flat Top, thank you for coming in. I didn't think you were going to be here, but would you like to add an update or anything? What's going on? Would you please, if you have time?
Actually, I apologize. I'm just kind of getting in here, and I really don't know what's been said prior to this, and I kind of don't want to keep rehashing the same things. But you know, again, we're pretty much at a good spot here. We've got some folks that are willing to work with us out of Tennessee. We got some folks willing to work with us in Alabama that are willing to set up some temporary staging areas for us to be able to get into places like North Carolina or Georgia if the situation calls for it, South Carolina, whatever the situation is. So, I mean, I want to, first of all, reach out and say thank you to those folks that have put themselves out there to do those things. And so, you know, thanks for that. But aside from that, you know, it's just kind of watch your weather, be vigilant, and you know, don't wait too long. Like everybody's saying, just get out, do what you got to do, and hey, maybe we'll be able to see you on the safe side of life.
Thank you, Bud. I appreciate it. One thing that I do want to cover is these men and women that are going there are going on their own time. I want to thank the people that have donated to us so far, and I hope to get more donations, because this money is used to send to these people so they can boots on the ground, pay for their gas, pay for their food, pay for other things they pick up to help people. Again, we've got several sites set up. Our site is set up on the United Constitutional Patriots webpage on Facebook. All you have to do is Google it. Greg, you can give yours, and Flat Top, you can give your information real quick.
Yeah, simply the information for my end of things, which is the logistical end of this. Phone number is area code 205-483-4074. For folks who want to try to come out and help. Right now, we're, again, just kind of waiting to see what this storm does and where people are going to be needed the most. And as we get entry points to those areas where we've got areas of operation that we know we're going to be working in, as we get a clear path to those places, begin calling for people and equipment to move into those areas. So we'll be the logistical front on that, organizing that, making sure everybody is safe and gets to where they've got to get. So again, just use that number. If you're interested in trying to help, or you have a group that can set up an area of operation within North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, if you're got a group that has an area of operation there that we could use as a staging operational area, we would appreciate any heads up on that.
Okay, and thank you. And folks, we're not asking you to donate a whole lot of money. You know, $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever you can afford. Because this is the money that makes it able for these men and women to get in there, get them to get in the flooding stages areas, help people get out. Without this, it makes it harder because we are a private organization that we're patriots. We help people. That's what we do. We go out where the trouble is. And we're there to save lives, as many as possible, and help as many of the victims as possible any way we can. And like I said, this money is used only for these purposes, like fighting fires, stuff like this. Right now we have some bad fires in California. There's another catastrophe going on. I had a friend contact. They need people to out on the West Coast. They need people to go out there and help fight the fires. Mount Shasta area is in real bad shape. They're short-handed. I mean, it's going on all over the country. The ones out west, I'm asking you, the Patriot groups out there to help these people. They're really short-handed in the Mount Shasta area. Contact Forest Service, whoever you can. Find out what you can do to help. This is a call out for all Patriots nationwide to help with these fires, and also the East Coast of Patriots to help out there. It's hard on all of us. We can't be everywhere at once, but we can sure try to have our men there, as many as possible, where the trouble is.
Okay, John, I'd like to add that we don't, I talk about Love Tour, Music Wave. Think of the waves, Love Tour, Music Wave. You can get to it on Facebook, and you can message the page if you have volunteers for any of these situations, East Coast, West Coast. If your church wants to provide supplies, or you can always, you don't have to have Facebook, okay? If you don't have Facebook, maybe you don't like Facebook, maybe you don't use Facebook, that's fine. You can send me a message request, Gregory S. Clark in Naples, Florida, and you can contact me. Eventually I will do that. I have to accept the request, but I check it several times a day. I'll see your message, and so you can message me even if you don't have Facebook. And but if you do, you can go to the page. You can also message the page, Love Tour Music Wave, and tell us what you got. And you can see the donation thing right there if you just want to press that and make a donation. If you have volunteers, or maybe you have a boat, or maybe if your church is working on something, as I said, I hope all the people listening will call their churches and call their community groups and let their community know. There's a lot of places right now that are people are looking for how to help, and this is the best place that you can go. This is the organized organization that can help and gets the most bang for the buck. So you want to put that word out there, even if you just called through your churches and told them that. Tell them about the United Constitutional Patriots. Tell them who we are and about our show and what we do. One person calling all the churches can make a huge difference. So you can message me, send a messenger request right from the internet. You can go to the page on Facebook, and message the page.
Frank.
So there are some ways that you can get a hold of us. And hopefully you're thinking about what you can do right now, because there's all these resources that we all have. I talk about in the book about there was 50% unemployment in Gary, Indiana, but we had 1,200 organizations to work together to try and help each other. And, you know, maybe you're not the one getting hit this time, but it might be you next time. So this is a great time for a person to call through the churches, call through the community organizations, tell them that we exist, tell them what we do, tell them what we're about, and they can spread that word around. So that it's a lot of it's going to be up to people that will take the ball and run right now. And so it's Love Tour Music Wave, or me personally, you can send me a personal message. So there's two ways that you can contact us. Of course, you've got, you know, United Constitutional Patriots, and I believe we've given a phone number out here. So whatever you feel comfortable with, those are all good ways to get a hold of us.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your input and your help on this, and I hope to help you folks out there that are in danger of ways, no matter where you're at. I'm going to turn this back over to Chuck, where he can go ahead and go through the cues. We've got a few cues to go through, and then we'll close the show out. Thank you.
All righty. Again, okay. Tonight, when we a couple nights ago, we did a show, Kane, and then I got to do some cues, and we were having difficulties, and I didn't get to finish it. In fact, some of what I was doing got cut off, I think. So, where I was when all those technical difficulties happened and go through, you know, yesterday, I guess this is yesterday's and today's. Okay. I'm going to start with 2152. Funnily enough, cue number 2152 is an image, a marquee that you would see at the movie theater. Vicegate is the name of it. Vicegate. And it's got Andrew McCabe, and it's got Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, James Comey, and Loretta Lynch in the picture. It's called Vicegate. And Q says coming very soon to a theater near you. So evidently, drop. Okay. 2153. Q 2153. Q says panic in D.C. Rod Rosenstein required meeting with President Q. Okay. 2154. Q 2154. Q says panic in D.C. King and Spalding hired last week to represent Sally Yates. Q. 55. Some of these are short. 55. Panic in D.C. Communication with McCabe regarding testimony story. Okay, 2156. Panic in D.C. Testifying against Comey. Q. 2157. C. Lisa Page testifying against Peter Strzok. Okay. 2158. Panic in D.C. in effort to save Nellie Orr against Rosenstein, Gates, Lynch, and Comey. Q. 2159. Panic in D.C. Steele required extradition to U.S. or requested non-extradition to U.S. Extradition Treaty 2003. Q. 60. Rats running. Timing is everything. Enjoy the show. Q. 161 was a There's a link to a New York Times article. A trail of breadcrumbs leading terrorists into the wilderness. Okay, and Q says, another wave of attacks coming. Nothing to see here. Q. 2162 is another image. And it shows a group of people sitting on the ground forming a Q post that says, together we win. 63 is a Twitter status posted by someone who uses the name not opinion, and it says and it includes the Q2108 where Q said goodbye Mr. Rosenstein. Q21 all right, says inflict max pain damage. Drop daily carpet bombs. Drop release Moab. Sarah Carter article that says how anti-Trump leakers moved from offense to defense. So they're all defensive now. And Flynn targeted for immediate recusal, ? Sessions Senate confirmation vote. Rod Rosenstein Senate confirmation vote. Okay? Reconcile. If Sessions wasn't a threat, why is he the primary target? Telling us that Jeff Sessions actually is a threat to the deep state. Why was it critical to move Rod Rosenstein to DOJ the general?
Yes, I am.
Statement of Mueller, special counsel oversight. Authority? ? If you know what your enemy is planning, how do you prepare? Now, what the enemy was planning is they were planning at some point to get Sessions removed with Rod Rosenstein as Attorney General. We've seen some of that lately where, they're calling for Sessions to be removed and what have you. Okay? He says, if you know what your enemy is planning, how do you prepare strategically? Think today. Supporting Sessions, left defending Sessions. Now all of a sudden, the left and defending Jeff Sessions. Interesting. Edge. Okay, so the president's playing that game of chess again. For now, he's got the left supporting and defending Sessions. Well, if he's actually working against Trump, we still want him there. They make him think that Sessions is a black hat when he's actually a white hat, folks. Okay? News.com article, Newstalk page text. We're leaking like mad in lead up to Trump Russia probe. Okay? There's a Fox News Twitter which says, Jim Jordan, we're still waiting to get all the documents from Rod Rosenstein and the Justice Department. That's why we pushed so hard.
What are you talking about?
And another Twitter from
are you going to the store?
America's Newsroom. Sandra Smith Fox spoke with Jim Jordan about
just a minute.
Representative Mark Meadows sending a letter to Deputy Rosenstein alleging Strzok page text revealed a media leak strategy.
Gotta get my wallet.
Mentioned that strategy the other night. What they did was the conspirators in the coup actually leaked information to the press. The press then did stories on it, and then the people involved in the coup, if you will, turned around and used to try to get their FISA warrants to Trump thing. Okay, Q concludes with panic comes mistakes, with panic comes betrayal, with panic comes testimony, with panic comes
What? Rat.
but FISA
When?
goes both ways. Ooh-ah, Q. Q2165. We have a .com article for it where they're showing, and also an article where they're showing that Reddit has now banned some of the boards on Reddit.com that cover QAnon, probably like the Great Awakening board and stuff like that cover QAnon. Violations, stay strong, stay together, will fail. Those they attack the most are the biggest threat. And who do they attack the most? And Q. Okay? Expect Twitter, Facebook next. Okay, then it says AJ, Alex Jones template. They've banned him from a number of the websites now. Alex Jones template was designed to attack, censor,
oh my God.
QAnon. Primary objective, Q. Okay. Then Q2166.
We got tickets last night, right?
Status, again, from Fox News.
Mom.
Which says, just
Can't hear
in
fucking shit. Mom.
60 Minutes honcho Jeff Baker out at CBS gives exit not directly related to sexual misconduct allegations. What it is. Okay? And Q says sexual misconduct, nothing to see here. So the dominoes are falling. Q. Okay. Q2167. We're almost there, folks. Q2167. Okay. Gives the link 8chan.net Patriots Fight Catalog. It says main points of interest only. It will serve as a main hub as the Patriots Fight board on 8chan. It will serve main hub of all communications once all other sites tracking collapse. The other sites that are tracking Q go down, 8chan only will be. What part of another wave of attacks coming yesterday wasn't understood? This is not a game. Q. Okay, and then Q number 2168. Okay, is 297K. Now that's 297,000. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but it also says military planning at its finest. Q. And then, last but not least, Q2169. Status from President Trump, where he posted and said this was posted 2018. He said, I am draining the swamp, trying to fight back. Don't worry, we will win. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, those are our evening, and I will turn it back over to Johnny.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Chuck. And with that, I am going to have Chuck close our show tonight with a prayer. to thank you all. Please stay safe. And remember, donate if you can. We're doing all we can to help everybody. God bless you. God bless America. And Chuck, let's pray for these folks. And thank you.
Lord Jesus, we come before you right now. We thank you, Lord, allowing us again to come here tonight to do this great work that we do here each and every day. Opportunity that we have to report to our listeners what's going on in the world. Report on this hurricane that's coming in.
Bitch.
We ask you, Lord, a special blessing on all of those
I hate this fucking place.
now in the path of this. Lord, to bless them, to help them to make all the right decisions that they need to make. That the loss that will occur with the storm be at as much of a minimum as can possibly be. We ask you to watch care over all of those on the East Coast tonight. Continue to watch care over us. We ask you, Lord, to continue with us now throughout this night and in the coming days. Continue to guide us, guard us, and protect us. Other ever closer to thee. For we do ask it all in Jesus' holy name. Thank you.
Amen.
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 Thanks for joining the Constitutional Patriots radio show today. Our next show will be on Friday, 6 p.m. Western and 5 p.m. Pacific. Have a great night, Patriots.